Hey everyone, welcome to AP Physics 1. I'm going to be the teacher, Mr. Clow, and I just want to go through some of the things to expect as far as this course. Some other ways to contact me, you can contact me through email. I already sent an email to all the parents before. This is my email, it's a standard teacher email. You can always contact me through Canvas. Currently, Canvas is down as far as I was informed, but of course, if you're watching this video, you should be able to see it and it should be up and running. Once Canvas is running, you can contact me through there, either through your child's account or you can set up a parent observer account. I'm not too sure exactly how to do that myself, so you would have to go to the school's main page for that. You can also call me through the school and leave messages, but unfortunately, I always find that we tend to miss each other anytime phone calls come in. So I usually like emails more so than phone calls. But of course, if you prefer a call, feel free to let me know, and we'll try and find a time to that works best. All right. So a little thing about the AP1 for those who don't know, AP1 is actually the first of two courses. This is actually a 2 year course, but unfortunately, the school has yet to approve an AP Physics 2 course due to lack of number of students moving on to AP Physics 2. Hopefully, we can get that running at some point, but it might not. It might take a while. AP Physics 1, for those who haven't heard about it though, is a bit of a tricky subject. Not only is the content difficult, but in order to test the students' complete understanding of the topic, they tend to focus on very qualitative questions, questions that try to gauge their understanding of everything, that force them to explain their reasoning, versus the typical calculation based questions that appear in a lot of other physics courses. However, in order to understand the equations, in order to be able to explain what's going on, the class kind of focuses a lot on the quantitative at first, showing them how to do calculations and trying to use that to build up their verbal understanding, their written understanding. But this course can be difficult for people because of this dual nature of needing to be able to use equations in a complex way while also be able to explain things in a complex way. There are two main tests that students are expected to take at the end of the year. The first was the AP Physics 1 exam, which is going to be, I wrote May 12th. I don't think that's, I forgot to update that. But it is in May. It's near the beginning of May. It's actually in the second week of the AP week. You can see it on the College Board website. Same thing for the Regents exam. That is not an updated date, but the Regents exam is going to be in June. And it's going to be essentially the last exam of Regents Week. Go figure that physics is the last in both of its setups. Students are expected to take the Regents, and this is important for a lot of students to know, is that once the AP passes, they will have to continue on and learn more material to prepare them for the Regents, since not everything is being covered in the AP class. This is different than a lot of other AP courses that tend to go into a downtime. We are still kind of working through. So hopefully, both you and the students are aware of this, that the work doesn't end just because the AP is over. Of course, the material is much lighter, so it should be easier for us to work through it, and it should be a nice change of pace. But they are still expected to take it, and I'm expected to prepare them for it. The required materials are pretty standard, like with everything. I say that they should bring a black pen and a pencil. However, I do recommend the pencil for a lot of calculation stuff. The calculators, they usually get them from the math department, so no big deal. I do have some calculators if they need it. I do recommend a 3-ring binder with loose leaf. A lot of times I hand out a lot of full files for them to work with. So I recommend a binder just to kind of keep everything organized, especially in case papers start kind of being ripped out. The loose leaf paper, because we do some practice questions in class. I also want them to bring a 3-ring binder for their lab notebooks. Some of them have already brought them in, but I would like to have everyone bring in their own binder for that. Again, just to kind of protect the lab notebooks so that no pages are suddenly lost. Students are expected to review their notes and assignments and basically be on task for things in case there's any quizzes or tests. The grading policy in this class follows the entire science department. The assessments are 70%, labs are 15%, and class participation is another 15%. So a lot of the grades are focusing on the assessment, and this is in order to make sure that the grade that they get at the end of the year reflects what's expected of them from the AP exam. If a student's getting 90s in the class, it only makes sense that they should be getting the highest grade on the AP, a 5 or possibly a 4, depending on where in the 90s they were. We don't really want a situation where a student's getting 90 in the class and then fails the AP. So the better they're doing in the class, that reflects how well we expect them to do on the AP exam at the end of the year. Assessments are made up of 3 categories, or based off of 3 categories. So there's the test exams. So these tests are at the end of each unit. Typically, we end up having 2 per quarter. Uh, the units are fairly big compared to some of the other courses. And of course, the tests cover mainly everything in that unit. It's going to be a combination of multiple choice and free response questions. It's going to be a double period, and because of the 2 AP courses, I'm going to end up having 1 on each day. So we're going to have it split between 2 days. Quarterly exams will be held at the end of each quarter, and it's going to cover everything covered in that quarter. So the 2 units that were covered. And then the projects, which I hope to be able to get through. I've changed a few things about the course to try to save myself time and make sure that we have more time to do stuff in class. So I'm hoping to be able to get through projects in class. They're going to be held hopefully each quarter, and will essentially count as a test grade. So this should help kind of ease the 70% test grade assessment weighting. Class participation, again, based off of 3 categories. The classwork, this is the stuff that they do in class. Honestly, for AP students, this should be a pretty standard 100, as long as they're not always on their phone, as long as they're, just focusing a little bit, not falling asleep all the time. They attempt questions. This should be a very easy 100. I do a grade at the end of the week, and that grade reflects what they do. If they make any mistakes in the day. So like I said, if they spend a day where they're just constantly on their phone, or they're just not doing it, they're not feeling it, they usually get hit 10 points throughout the week. All right. So just throwing that out there. Homework. So this one's actually something I'm doing a little bit differently. As I mentioned in my video, I'm doing or in my email, I'm doing a soft flipping this year. I'm hoping to see how this works. So some of the lessons that we would have done in class have now been pushed at home. These Edpuzzle videos, they are expected to watch the videos, record the notes, and then make sure that they have that in class. Once again, this is kind of done throughout the week. They'll get a final grade at the end, which shows how well they've completed everything. Um, these videos are pretty basic stuff. I'm not putting everything on these Edpuzzle videos. Anything that I deem to be more complex or higher, needing more effort, I actually say that to do in class. I'm only putting the foundational information in these videos. Hopefully, like I said, I can save some time so we can spend more time doing hands-on activities, and taking more of the complex work that would have been done at home and bringing it into the classroom. In addition, I will probably be throwing out some Castle Learning assignments and AP Classroom worksheets, or not worksheets, but um, practice questions that they can work on in between these videos. The Edpuzzle videos are really going to occur at the beginning of each unit. So there'll be a week or two where there's going to be a lot of videos, and then there won't be any videos for the next week or two. And then when the next unit starts, there's going to be another week or two of new videos. So it's going to end up going like that. So just letting you know, it's not going to be an every single day thing, but it's only going to be like that for the first 2 weeks. And then the last part, well, this actually isn't part of class participation, but it's labs. Just like with every class, labs are required in order for them to take the AP exam and the Regents exam. And the way we do it, every single lab is required, so they are expected to do every single lab. Nothing crazy with that. So the AP1 exam, like I said, is going to be held in early May. There's going to be more information as it gets closer. I'm going to make sure I prepare them through the exams and through the practice assignments that we have. Most of the kids have already signed up. I think there's only a handful of students who haven't signed up through College Board. So I'm going to send some more emails. When you get the email, please make sure that you set up an account and you sign up for the course. I didn't put the code here because I have two classes. I don't want to get the code confused. So I'll send another email to those parents to make sure that they sign up as soon as possible. They're going to start hounding us to make sure that all the students are signed in. So please do so as quickly as possible. It's the only way that the students can sign up for the AP exam. If they don't sign up that way and they wait until whenever they have to pay, they'll miss out. They'll have to pay a late fee. They won't be able to get the free or reduced price that they get or anything like that. So uh, again, if you're having trouble, let me know. Let a guidance counselor know. Try to set this up as soon as possible. Uh, the one other thing I want to point out, I brought it to the attention of a lot of students, and I'm doing something a little bit different this year, but I'm going to offer the APC exam as an optional exam for a lot of students to take. There's another course through AP Physics called the APC Mechanics. APC Mechanics is essentially a lot of the same stuff that we talk about in the AP1 course. It's very similar, a lot of overlap in content. There is a small difference. It's considered more higher level in AP, and it includes a little bit of calculus. Now, the way that I tell them that they have to study for it, I've already posted videos online of me going through the different aspects from the APC compared to the AP1, covering some of the new topics. If they actually complete these assignments, they get extra credit. So, it is useful for them to look at it. I will post some practice questions for them to work on too. This will also be in the form of extra credit. But that's pretty much how they're expected to study. It's essentially a do at your own pace type of thing. Work on it at home, study for it at home. It is expected, they should study for it just as much as they study for the AP1. Even though there's a lot of overlap, the questions are slightly worded different. Uh, I mentioned before that AP1 tends to focus on trying to express their understanding through words, through verbal communication, being able to explain what's going on without doing all the nasty calculations. APC is the other way. There's no tricks to it. It's all straightforward, all straight calculations, not as much explaining. So if they just focus on preparing for the AP1, they might miss out on some of the calculation stuff that they would need for the APC. The good thing is that they kind of help each other. So planning for the APC helps with the AP1, and the AP1 helps plan for the APC. So it's useful to study for the APC and the AP1 together. I do have a bunch of material, but unfortunately, a lot of it's going to be posted once Canvas is up. So once that's up, you'll be able to see a lot of it. I have practice exams. I have practice free responses. I have videos where I go over the practice free responses and all of this stuff. Now, what's the benefit of taking the APC exam? There's a lot. For example, one thing is a lot of colleges tend to accept lower grades on this exam compared to the AP1. So they might give more credit if when you get a 3 on this exam versus some schools who would only accept credit for the AP1 if they got above a 4. Some other colleges will also allow you to. Um, oh wait, I forgot to mention this. Um, while the AP1 has a lot of information, there is some information that's coming out for the AP1. The APC has a ton of information because it's years and years long compared to the AP1, which is still fairly new. It's only really been out for probably 10 years, and there's still not really a whole lot of practice questions. There's tons of really great workbooks that you can get. So there's a lot more resources that students have on the APC. And in previous years, I've actually had the average student receive 1 point higher on the APC compared to the AP1. It gives a better idea of what colleges expect. I forgot to mention this before, but some colleges also will allow you to skip a course if they get a high enough grade on the APC. For example, Stony Brook will usually give credit if a person gets above a 3 on the AP1. They just get a generic science credit. But if they get above a 4 on the APC, they're allowed to skip Physics 125, which is they consider an equivalent level course. So that's a nice thing to keep in mind. So how do students take it? Uh, well, as I mentioned to my class, all the students sign up through the AP Classroom. That allows them the opportunity to pay for it when it comes up. Of course, if they don't want to take it, they can either they can let me know and sign out, or they could just not pay for it. They can opt out of it at any point. So right now, currently, a lot of the kids are pretty much set up to start taking it. All they have to do is sign up for it when they have that sheet and pay for it when the time comes. Um, if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. And that's basically it. I really hope to have a really nice and productive year. And hopefully, not only do the kids have fun in this class, but I also hope they learn a lot from it. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Contact me whatever way you need. Um, and that's it.